Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Chris and Tammy here, coming to you live from Toronto. I was just about to say Toronto Beach. Not the case anymore. We're in Toronto, Canada. It's actually beautiful this time of year. It's really nice and really warm. And that's what Tammy and I decided to do as we're decided to live our lifestyle. This is exactly what we designed, is we just don't do winters except for December, because we obviously like to enjoy our holidays and celebrating Christmas with the family. And I do not all of you celebrate Christmas, but you know what I mean. Just like spending time with the family and just being together. So, folks, this morning, Tammy and I want to train on the aspect of the compensation plan. Now, it won't be a detail from top to bottom of the PDF, but we will reference it. We want to summarize it on the areas that are important to you, so you understand what are the building blocks that you need to focus on to increase your income, or at least to start earning an income with GotBackup. Every Saturday, Tammy and I do trainings in relevant to your back office, to tools, anything that is relevant to building your business. When it comes to mentoring and leadership skills and all of these things, Tammy and I train this into the VIP program. This is something they do have available in your back office. And it's also commissionable. If your team takes advantage of these tools, it's another product that you can benefit from while they're getting great training on the mindset that Tammy and I have spent literally over $30,000 a year for about 4 or 5 years with Eric Worre, John C. Maxwell, Anthony Robbins, and we compile all that information and we deliver this in a way that can really help you have the right mindset and the right direction to build a full-time income in this business. That's the reason why these trainings are important. Now, the Saturday, again, are always designed to help you understand the software. And this morning is really to get into the compensation plan. Again, not to repeat everything, but to give you the ins and outs on how to earn an income with GotBackup. Anything you want to add to this, Tammy, before we start?
Yeah, and as we go through the training, if you have any questions, just post them in the chat, and we'll be keeping an eye on the questions. All right.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
So let's welcome folks here that are coming in.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure everybody has an opportunity to join in. Mary Paul from Ottawa, welcome. Bekshi from Bangladesh, great to have you here. Jim from New Brunswick, welcome. We have Jack from Ontario. We have Beyond Cosmetic Reality from the UK, welcome. MC from Texas. We have here Hitch Kelvin Birch. Great to have you here from Accra, Ghana. Beautiful place. We haven't been there since I think at the end of 2024. So
yeah, we have to plan another trip.
Yeah, absolutely. Joe, welcome. Great to have you here from Sarasota, Florida. We have Mudasiru. Welcome. I apologize for sabotaging your name. My apologies. Kim, welcome from Florida. We have Anne here. Great to have you here from Indiana. We have Fulera from Belgium. Great to have you here. We have Michael from Ohio. And let's see, Jean-Pierre from Quebec. Bienvenue, Jean-Pierre. Let's see here. We have Andres from South Africa. We have Inyonam from Accra, Ghana. I know where you're from. Esther, great to have you here. And Francis, Scott, and everybody, great to have you here. We're so happy to see you here this morning. Now, Tammy and I really want to focus on the area. So take some notes. Now, keep in mind, this training is recorded. It can be found on the playlist. It's not there at the moment. It will be on the playlist on their Saturday trainings. Now, what I'd like to start with here, folks, is this. Let's remove that one and let's add this over here. Okay, I want to focus on this particular site because this is our GotBackup. Let me just say, this is our GotBackup group. And if you're not there, folks, I highly recommend that you join the group. Again, I will post a link over here. Copy. I'm going to put it right here in the group so you guys can click right on it. Make sure that you're there because there's a lot of great information. And in fact, and first of all, congratulations to all the newcomers and all the new rank achievement. That's absolutely wonderful. But I just want to scroll down here. Let's see. Let's keep moving down. There we go. Okay. This particular video that Joel did is a really interesting video in line to some new features that were added on in your back office. And we'll get into that in a second. So I do recommend that you listen to those. Okay. Because uh, actually, let me shift over to the back office of Got Backup here. And I think, yeah, it's right over here. There we go. So if you go to your back office, I'm using the demo account here. So again, I'm not exposing information for people that are in the team. So you go under My Business, and under My Business, and folks, this is really, really important. Okay. These are tools to help you support your team. You go to my direct affiliate. Okay. When you click on that, it will now remember this is a demo account. So the accounts that the people that are there, they're not real people. They're just for the purpose of demonstration. What they added is these three columns over here. This is really, really important. Why is it important? Because if someone signs up in Got Backup and they have never installed the software, obviously these are not real people. It's all going to say no. But real people, technically, they should have installed the app for their computer or their phone, and that will be changed to yes. So you know they've installed it, and it tells you here if they're using the collaborate and share, and it tell you here how much space are they using. Isn't that clever? Now I know that they're working on. You'll notice that there's a little bit of an overlap here. They're working on that, but the point here is that you can start monitoring because we know that if people are enrolling Got Backup, are using the service, and are backing up their data, you know they're going to stick around because they want to have access to their backups. But if they're not using it, don't be surprised in 2, 3 months or when the time comes to renewing, they won't renew because they haven't been using the software. So if you follow these guidelines by making sure that you're aware of who's installing the software, maybe even yourself are here and you haven't installed it yet. Maybe you just want to make the money, and that's all good, folks. But this is a really good service. And I'm telling you that if people will do what you do. So this is a great, great aspect here. Tammy, do you want to add anything to this?
Yeah, I'm just excited. When I saw that yesterday, I just know that, to follow up with people, you need to know where they're at. And this is a great demonstration of where they're at, right? Whether they've done their uploads for their phones or their computers, you can see it right there, and you can see how much that they actually uploaded. So I love what Joel is up to, and just providing us with the tools that we need to grow the business.
I
And
totally agree.
yeah.
Sorry, Tammy. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And what I'm doing here, folks, is I'm going to the channel. That's another thing that you should really be
Mhm.
connected to. I'm going to put that into, because some of you might be brand new into Got Backup and you're just kind of getting your feet wet with everything. This is where all the information is stored. You can see here that this one is currently live. Okay. But if you go under playlists, okay, you can go back here on Got Backup training sessions. You can go to the full playlist over here. You can see that all the past recorded calls are here. So some of you may want to have some more information on, for example, the internal wallet, the lead capture page, all of these things. We have some real life trainings in here. Joel did a phenomenal training on the key things I have learned about magnetic marketing, right? It's all here. How we let the funnel do the work. Okay, so folks, there's a lot of good information here. We really recommend for you to plug into, and this is one of the reasons where some folks are earning good income. We Got Backup, and others that maybe are kind of stagnant in their business. Number one, to go back to this comment here, they don't follow up with the people that they brought into the business. All they do is they sign up and they fend for themselves. And if this is how you want to run your business, that's totally cool with me. But what we're here for is to show you how to create a mammoth organization, or let me rephrase that. It's how to create an income stream that will pay you for the long term. And for that, you have to make sure that the people that are on board do use a service and they understand what they have in the palm of their hand. And this here will give you a strong indication that in this example, obviously, again, these are not real folks, but none of them are active. None of them are using the service. So that means in a year from now, you may not have a business that will thrive. But if you contact them one by one, and many of them will have phone numbers when they registered over here, you can contact them, or you can email them, or you can make that an automatic process into your email through the system that's available through the lead capture system. And again, we're not doing a training on that, but I assure you that we have plenty of training, different versions of repetition from a different perspective, a different angle on how to make best use of the lead capture system. Okay. So I just wanted to mention that before we go into the comp plan topic. And so you're aware of the fact that you should be plugged into this, so you're aware of what's going on. And at the same time, you should be also aware of the tools that are available that are pointed out from Joel here on in his video. Okay. And
Yeah,
again, this here is a channel. Go ahead,
I
Tammy.
just want to answer one question. It has nothing to do with the training today, but I think it's really important because I think a lot of people align with that, Chris.
Mhm.
Is Gitana was saying, my issue is getting them to sign up. You know, there's one thing that I learned in this business, and you need to be patient. And the key is to constantly send information out. It's all about them. It's their timing. I know we all want everybody to sign up when we want them to sign up, but timing has to be their timing, and just continually build relationships, whether it's email marketing that you're doing, always inviting people. Don't get hung up on the people. Keep moving, keep growing, because we've been in this business for a long time, and I remember this one particular person. It was almost 5 years, and they finally came in and they ran. They literally ran with this because the timing wasn't about me, it was about them. So don't get hung up on this stuff. I'm telling you, it'll take you down, it'll get you discouraged. You got to keep moving and keep connecting with new people, constantly.
In fact, Tammy and I have done some trainings on what we call the Success Cycle series. Now, on the VIP, we have a bit more detail segment on the Success Cycle series, but this is where you will find all of the ins and outs details in reference to how do you get people to sign up in the process of following up and continuing following up. And that's what it is. When you talk to people one time, this is not going to cut it because you show them something and they may not, people are busy today. They're confused. There's a lot going on and it's difficult for people to focus. And that's why the follow-up process is so important. And we have great training on helping you on that. Just going through the questions. Let's see here. What about customers? Yes, customers will show up on that same list. It's not an associate, but you will be able to know if they're using the service. Okay, same thing. Okay, same stuff. It applies to customers. Let's see here. Okay, awesome advice. Okay, perfect. Okay, excellent. So let's keep moving here. So what we want to focus on at the moment. Okay, let me remove this one and let me add this one. Okay, so we want to focus on that. Now, this particular document over here can be accessed from your back office. Okay, so this is the GotBackup Compensation Plan PDF. So I just kind of, for your convenience, I brought it in here. But for you to find out where it's located, let me remove that. I'm going to add this one over here. If you go to your back office, GotBackup right here. Okay, so if you go to your back office and you go under your tools, you notice here it says Extra Promo Tool. I'm going to click on that. Okay. And over here, you will go under, well, you can see it over here. It's right at the front. It's probably because people are asking for it all the time. Yeah. Okay. And if you click on promo content over here, you're going to find, you select English. Okay. And you will find that we have other videos over here. For example, Eve did a great training on line of enrollment. What is a line of enrollment? She explains that well. What about the new compensation plan? That's, again, that was done a year ago or so, maybe a year and a half ago. And that was at the beginning. Yeah. Right now, we've matured on explaining the plan, but Eve did a great job over here. Okay. And you can see here, the PDF is also available there. So I just want to point out where you can access these things. Okay. So let me remove that for now. And let's see, let's focus back to the PDF document. Okay, so right now, what we want to focus on is actually this. On the PowerPoint, and for those of you that that follow the Wednesday presentation, and I think that many of you are using that slide, it might be displayed a little bit different, but you definitely see the 7 ways to earn. We want to focus on 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Number 1, 2, and 3. This is really the foundation. In fact, number 1 is the foundation. This is the money you earn when someone sponsors, when someone signs up, I should say. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This is the residual that occurs from the people enrolling in your business, not just people you brought in, but people that your downline brought in and people that your upline that may be sharing the same leg as you also brought in. And that's when things starts getting really interesting in a cycle earning bonus and the cycle match bonus. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go back to the PDF. And what I'd like to do is point out to the benchmark. Tammy, why don't you spend a bit of time on that?
Yeah, because that's the basic foundation that's going to take you into momentum. So the 4 benchmarks, the whole purpose of doing this is because it's simple and everybody's got busy lives today. So if you can create something that's so simple that everybody can do, then you can go into momentum. So you keep seeing copper, copper, copper. So the goal is to help people get to copper. So what's a copper? Is to enroll one person on your left team, one person on your right team. The moment you do that, you're a copper. Okay. Number 2 is enroll 2 on the left and 2 on the right. So the goal is to keep enrolling people into the organization, but you also want to make sure that the people you're bringing in are doing number 1, right? So you want to make sure that they're doing the 4 benchmarks, and you want to repeat in building coppers within your team. Number 3 is to build a user enrollment tree of 25 plus people. So, and this is not the people that are coming in from people above you, below you. This is your enrollment tree. That means every single person that you personally brought in, whatever you do and they do, will add up to the 25 people. Okay. And you want to assist your team. Always assist your team. Help people grow. I know a lot of people don't take the time to do this, but if you want to have true residual, it's about helping people get to the next level. Of course, you can't drag anybody across the finish line, but you want to work with people who are willing. Okay, the ones who are committed, the ones that are willing to take the steps to build the foundation, those are the ones you want to spend your time with. Okay, you always get back with other people as well, just to make sure everybody's good. Timing has to be for them, you guys. We keep saying that. That's what's important. Number 4 is to personally enroll 10 plus people. So think of 10, always bringing 10 in. If one falls off, go get another one. Don't wait for people to fall off. Just keep bringing people in, because you're going to see the rank graph that I'm pretty sure Chris is going to show. And then you want to constantly get everybody duplicating. People will be duplicating at the different numbers, the different levels. And yeah. And then you're going to get people to silver, to gold, to platinum. And when they're growing, they're committed.
So if I go back to the PowerPoint that we share every Wednesdays, and we talked about the 2-team commission, the building a 2-team tree. So what's going on, what Tammy talked about to become a copper is you have one person on your right, one person on your left. For example, you have a direct referral here. That's one of yours. That's part of your enrollment tree. An indirect referral, that's someone that was brought in by someone above you, sharing the same leg. Remember, you only have 2 legs. So if you have 3 people to bring in, you have to put it underneath one of the sides that you have. So if you have a person on your right side, but it's not introduced by you, you're not a copper yet. You may have 2 people, but one is yours. The other one happens to be brought in by someone else. Will it benefit you? Absolutely it will. Won't we start counting the amount of bodies that are there to get your cycling? Okay, and I'll come back to that in a minute. So, but underneath indirect referral, you sponsored that person. That's number 2. That's what Tammy talked about. 1 on your left team, 1 on your right team. If you look at this, 1 on your left team, that's 1 on your right team. Now you got 2 people. So if you find this hard, folks, remember what we're explaining to you here is a strategy for you to earn an income. It doesn't matter what network marketing company you are into. Every single step, every single companies will requires you to sponsor people. That's how this work. And if you find this hard, it's because you haven't mastered yet the ability to connect with people for them to relate to the information. And that's why the trainings, like the VIP I keep talking about, that's why these are important, because that's when we go into the inner details of the mindset and all the specifics that are necessary for you to develop or to work towards to be able to convert, to help people understand the potential. So the point here, back to the compensation plan.
Chris, I just want to go back there for a second because, you know, you have to choose your hard, right? It's how you tell yourself for you to get the results. So I'm saying this because I used to think like this, and the moment I started investing in my personal growth, that's when things started to evolve for me, because I was stuck on things that weren't working on my external. When I started working on myself, then I started to magnetize with people. And I started saying things like, it's effortless prosperity. Things are coming easily to me. Even when you think it's not, say it. Because the more you say the things that you want in your results, the more you say that, the more things are going to come to you unexpectedly. And when I really started to practice that, it was unbelievable, all the great things that were happening in my business and in my life. So think of, I mean, every time you speak a word, you got to ask yourself, is that serving you? Is that helping your business grow? These are really important things to help you grow in your business.
That is correct.
Yeah.
So the point here, folks, is the building block, the activities that you need to focus on is producing coppers. That means starting with you, one person on your left team, one person on your right team. That is the very first step you want to achieve. Let me explain to you why this is so important. I'm going to go back to the PDF that I was sharing with you earlier. This is part of the document PDF that's available that I was pointing out that's in your back office. What's going on over here is there are different level of payments based on your rank. Okay. So when you begin the business, you are an associate. And then the moment you sponsor one person who is active, then you become a bronze. If I go back to, let's see here. If I go back to, let me remove this and let me add this. Okay. If you go back to your position over here, you can see your status over here will change. Okay. And by the way, if you need support, you click on that and that's where you can get support. But the point here is a bronze. That means that you have sponsored one person into your business. Remember, this is a position that is just for a demonstration. Mm-hmm. But one thing I want to reference here is in that page, you have access to your rank grid. The rank grid is exactly what shows in the PDF document. So if I look at the PDF document over here, okay, that's exactly what this is. This is what this represents. Okay. Now, what's going on here is as a copper, you get tier 1. Okay. Tier 1, this means that you've sponsored one person on your left, one person on your right. You are a copper. As a silver, that means someone in your business that you have personally enrolled, either them or someone that they've enrolled, become a copper. So that means they turn around and duplicate it. Like Tammy talked about in the 4 benchmark, they duplicate it. So now they have one on the left, one on the right. Now the system will say, oh, you're moving up from a copper to a silver because now there's duplication in your business. Now, you want to start earning commissions over and above the cycles. That will occur when you become a gold. So if I go back to the presentation that we have over here, and you go back to the list of earning, let me just go back here. Okay. So when you are a gold, you earn obviously the commission acquisition bonus. This is when you begin the business. Then the cycle earning occurs when you have one person on your left, one person on your right. Okay. The cycle match bonus will occur on a later rank, and I'll come back to that, which is Sapphire. But the moment you become gold, you start getting generation bonus. You get number 4. So as a gold, you get number 1, you get number 2, and you also get number 4. So again, what do you need to qualify to become a gold? So if I go back to the document over here, as a gold, you need to have, let's see here. Let me just focus on the slide that I want to focus on here. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So as a goal, by the way, this is the slide that represents what's in your back office. If you go back to your back office, this is what you see here. Okay. Now, as a copper, you got 2, one on the left, one on the right. As a silver, it's the same 2, one on the left, one on the right, hasn't changed, but someone became copper. Okay. Someone in your team. Now you're starting the duplication process. That's when you know your team is starting to grow. When it's not just you doing the work, the people on your team also doing the work because they want to move up in rank to get more money. Now, when you're a goal, that's when you start moving up. So that means that you have sponsored 3 more people. So now there's a total of 5. So there's 2 on your left and 2 on your right. Okay. Simple as that. And what's happening here is you need to have 1 copper and 3 separate enrollment tree. So let's see if we have a representation from this over here. That's probably easier to look at. Okay, let's see. Maybe this one will help. Mm-hmm. So what's happening here is to become a goal, you need to have sponsored 5 people in green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's just a representation of your personals. You see the C over here? That means that that person became copper. Over here, that person is not a copper, but someone in her downline, not even the next one, but the one after, became copper. That counts for you. Okay, and then you can see this one. Nobody's a copper, so there's no duplication occurring over here. Over here, no duplication over here on your right side. And on this one over here, he didn't come copper, but someone underneath him became copper. So you got your 3. 1, 2, 3. You have sponsored 5 people. Okay. And you need a total of 25 people in your business that are coming from the people you have enrolled. Or you might have enrolled also more than 5. You might have had 10, whatever. The point here is this is the requirement for you to become a copper. Okay. So if I go back to the qualification requirements over here, let me just go back one, I believe this one over here. So as a gold, you are still in tier 1. Okay. And now you basically have generation bonus. So the generation bonus, what's happening is when you look at your business, if I go back to the compensation plan over here and I look at my business, okay, this is my team over here. What's happening here is the company is going to count. It doesn't matter if you brought them in or someone else above you brought them in. This is the beauty of the generation bonus. Every time the company, the system sees a body that is active, it counts it for you. Now, let's say you have a really big sign on your right side and a little one on the left side. Doesn't matter. All it's looking for is the amount of $10 every single month. So if let's say you got 100 people on this side and 10 on this side, you'll benefit from the 2.5% on $10 on 100 people on the right side. Of course, there's some requirements that you may have, but I don't want to confuse things right now. I just want for you to understand the concept. And on the left side, you may only have 10 people. It's okay. So you'll get 2.5% on the 10 active people that are counted over here. Now, again, I want to bring a perspective here. Anybody here knows how many people, again, general number, Dropbox has in their business right now? How many? Anybody can tell me. And while I'm waiting for the answer, I'm just going to continue here. Okay, just put the answer because I've mentioned it many, many times in our presentations. And I know that I'm sure others have been mentioning it in different languages. What's the number of how many people Dropbox has? And the reason I want to bring this into perspective is it may not seem like much. That's correct, Joe. Over 700 million users. So as GotBackup evolve and evolve and evolve, this generation bonus is going to grow in value. This is where things are absolutely amazing when you start getting into momentum. We're not in momentum right now. We're still at the infancy of growth. Okay. And by the way, 700 million. I don't know about billions. That's a lot. Okay. So what's happening, folks, is understand the potential of this bonus as this grows. So let me go back to this over here. So as a gold, you have sponsored 5 people. Okay. If I go back down to this one over here, you're sponsored 5 people, 2 on your left, 2 on your right. This is your core rank. This is what every single of you should be aiming for right now. Okay. You make sure that in 3 separate enrollment tree, that means that if you sponsor John, that's one line. If you sponsored Mary, that's another line. If you sponsor Jeff, that's another line. All 3 could become copper, or if they didn't, someone in their downline became copper. But it comes from someone you brought in. That's what this 3 represents here. And there's a total of 25 people into your business that are combined from those 5 you brought in and the people that they brought in, not spillover. Okay. The company wants you to do your job before they start paying you the money that is allowed for a goal associate. I hope that makes sense to everybody. Okay. Now let's move on to the next level, platinum. Why do you want to become a platinum? Well, first of all, you need to have 10 people. Now, I want to go back to the form that the 4 benchmark Tommy talked about. Why are we telling you here immediately from day 1 to focus on 10 people? Because what you focus on expands. If you focus on 2, that's all you're going to do. But if you focus on 10, you're most likely going to get 5, 6, maybe even 10, maybe more. The point here is we want to embed the importance of your 10. Why is that? Well, let me go back to the reasoning behind it. You'll notice, I think it's the next one. Yeah. So you'll notice here from platinum, sapphire, and emerald. They're all 10. We are embedded in your mind right away to focus on 10 people so we can propel you to emerald. All you need to do from that point on, you remember, look, this hasn't changed all the way up to black diamond. This is the same. This placement is a very simple requirement that is good all the way to the top of the food chain. But once you've achieved those, now all you need to do is focus on the duplication of your business, making sure that there are more copper. Look, folks, we're not asking you for the moon here. We're simply asking you to help duplicate the business. And what that's going to do is you're going to find more people qualifying for copper. Again, why are we, and I keep going back to that slide here, why are we focusing on copper, copper, copper? Why do we keep talking about that? Because that is the building block that will stabilize and create a solid foundation on your business. You see, we tell you to turn around and start focusing on 25 people. The logic behind that is we're preparing you for the core rank, which is gold. And we're asking you to focus on 10 people, not because you need that to qualify for gold. You need that to qualify for emerald. We're helping you to propel you to a higher rank by starting with the right mindset. That's where the logic is all about when it comes to 4 benchmark. And I want to congratulate Randy for doing, because he came up with this approach, which
Yeah,
is
super
very,
simple.
very, very important. I like to give
Yeah.
credit where it's due.
Yeah.
Okay. So going back to not this one, going back to this slide over here. Okay. So now as a platinum, you got your 10, you're good all the way up to emerald on that particular qualification requirement. Your placement is done. You're qualified all the way up. And now what's happening here as a platinum, you need to have one more person. Again, separate enrollment tree. So we have John, we have Mary, we have Mike. That's 3. These are 3 different lines. And now there's another person by the name of, I don't know, James. That's 4. Maybe all 4 became copper, your personals, or if they didn't become copper, someone in their downline that they brought in became copper. So that's what the system looks at, 4. But you need to have now from 25 to 40 people on your team. It's not you bringing 40 people. Not that you can't do that. But my point here, it's about duplication. If everybody brings 1 grain of salt from one point A to point B, and you got 100 people bringing a grain of salt, so that's 1 step, but 100 times. What if it becomes 1,000, 10,000? Do you understand my point? So the 40 is not necessarily you bringing 40 people, which you could. But it's more about creating duplication with the combined effort of these 10 people over here. There are 40 people in your business. Why? Because these 10 people started duplicating by becoming copper. That's times 2. What happens when you double a penny every single day for a month? You're in the millions. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? So it's not about you doing all the work. It's about duplication. And that's what these trainings are all about. This comp plan is one of the most, I believe, sophisticated compensation plan, absolutely brilliant to create the right behavior in the field. Because you can't move up unless there is duplication in your business. And in network marketing, folks, it's all about duplication. Doing the step, repeating the step, and duplicate that within your organization. That is how you build an organization. And you will notice over here, when you look at this rank over here, bringing 50 people as Black Diamond, listen, it's amazing how simple it is. You may think that it's hard because you haven't been able to convert 1 person yet, but that's where we need to work on the training. That's where the VIP training, I think, is great for you. But if you're having a hard time, you want to jump into the VIP because you'll get more insight to learn. But my point here in saying is you bring people to the business, and what's happening is now there are more coppers that are being qualified. If you see anybody reaching diamonds, that's because, again, they brought in 20 people, but what's happening now is they're duplicating their system. The business is duplicating. I never worry about this amount here, folks. I never worry about those. Why? Because I focus on duplication. I don't think I'm going to have to sponsor 300. I will duplicate that. We'll get to this. I mean, our numbers right now, like Tammy and I, are way past 5,000 on each side. Because that's what we've been doing for 2 years. Duplicate, 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 duplicate. But now what we're trying to do is to help people qualifying as copper all the way up to Black Diamond. That's our goal. So the fact here is this is a brilliant plan. And if this is a bit complicated for you, just come back to it and listen to it again and again and again. Because you understand that this is 12-year-old math. It's not complicated. You just have to get an understanding of how can this relate to you and your business, starting from these positions over here. So gold is your core rank. The building block is copper. That's the message that we want to relay here. So let's go back to the compensation plan presentation. So if I go back here, okay, if you are a tier 1, you are earning a percentage that is allowed for the value of a cycle that is based on the company's profitability. When we say your rank is also an impact to the value of your cycle, it's because of tier 2. So if I go back to this document over here, and you are from a gold, you are a platinum right now. So as a platinum, here's what's going on. You are moving out of tier 1 and you're moving into tier 2. And for those of you that have been reaching these levels, you notice that tier 2 is almost 3 times as much as tier 1. So you're almost tripling your cycle values just by moving from gold to platinum. And again, if you recall, you got 40 people on your team and there's one more person who became copper. So we kept this really simple, but you do need to do the work. Okay. Now, as a sapphire, this is a very important rank. What happens over here? You're on tier 2. This is all the way up to black diamond. But what's happening here is you'll notice that there's a few things that's happening as a sapphire. So let's go back to how do we qualify for a sapphire? So let's go back to this letter here. Sapphire. You remember we talk about the 10? So if your mindset is set to 10 people and you achieve that, then you're set. That's done. Left, two, right? That's done. Now, instead of 4 copper, there's 5. So again, the name may vary here, but if I have John, that's 1 line. Mary, that's a 2nd line. James, that's a 3rd line. Jeff, that's a 4th line. What are we saying here? We need 5. So then I have Chris. I couldn't think of another name. So here's number 5. So now there's 5 people into your business. And these 5 people, either they all became copper. Personally, if you're personally sponsored to these guys, I would make sure that my personals are copper, which is exactly what we've been focusing on. But if, let's say, Chris is not a copper, maybe someone that Chris brought in is willing to become copper. As long as the company sees that there is 5 people, and now there's 50 people, so there's 10 more in your business. This is not hard to do when people... Now you're a copper. Excuse me. Now you are a sapphire. I appreciate it. So now you're a sapphire. So as a sapphire, if you go back to the compensation plan, okay, so let's go back over here. As a sapphire, you earn 25% from every single person you brought into the business. So if I go back to this, and a sapphire, you brought 10 people. Okay. So what's happening is you have the potential to earn 25% matching cycle on your 10 people. What's the $1,000? That is a cap. If one of your 10 people turn around and they move up, and let's say they're ruby or diamond or doing really, really well, and there's a lot of cycling that's going on in their business. Well, the company says, okay, we'll pay you 25% on their cycle up to $1,000. So let's say that their cycles have passed that and you would earn, I don't know, $1,500. You can't go past that until you become an emerald. Okay, how do you become an emerald? I'll go back over here. Oh, that's done. You've already have your 10. 2 on your left, 2 on your up. That's done. Oh, here's what's going on. One more person. So now instead of having 5, you got 6 people that have qualified copper. Either your personals or someone in their line became copper. And there's 100 people. So now we're doubling. Now we're getting more serious. That means that your team is duplicating the building blocks of becoming copper. Do you guys see now how you move up in rank to earn a good income with GotBackup? It's producing coppers. The factor of 2 pennies a day for 30 days. The concept is brings you into $1 million. I'm not saying you're going to build your business in 30 days. What I'm using that as an example, again, just as a as something to focus on to understand the power of duplication, the power of two. That's where the binary comes from. And we're not calling a binary, but we're calling that two team, left team, right team. Okay. So that is correct, Gaetano. It's the system. It's all about system. And if your business is systematic and duplication, folks, it's an absolute no-brainer. If you go back to our training, you'll understand that we have the lead capture system that will email people that became inactive, that are suspended because their credit card didn't go through, or they decide to cancel their accounts. You get notified. And if you put the emails, you go back to some past trainings on the lead capture system, and I suggest for you to go there if you don't know what I'm talking about, lead capture system, training on that. You'll see that the system will email those people that their credit card became inactive. Maybe they're not aware that their number changed. Or maybe they chose not to renew because they never installed the software. And now we started with this on the on the training. Now there's a new report that will tell you that this person you signed up 6 months ago hasn't even started. There is not one byte. No files have been transferred yet. They're not using it. Maybe they were busy. Maybe they got distracted because it's $10 a month. Who cares? Nobody cares. But I'm telling you that they will care when they see that their precious data, their precious moments are stored. And God forbid if they lose their phone or their computer or something happens, they can always get their stuff, their precious moments back into their computers, which I helped a gentleman do that a couple of days ago. So, folks, this is what we have here. And I don't want to go too far here, folks, because at the end, I don't want to complicate your life here. I just want you to understand how to initiate the duplication process. And once you start initiating the duplication process, this is when things start growing for you.
Yeah, once you hit gold, which is the core rank, it all starts to take place. You'll understand it a whole lot more. So if you're brand new, just focus on getting your one. You'll be qualified as a bronze. And then the next focus is get another one and put them on the other side. And Darkus, you asked about the placement, left, right. If the system does the placement, you do the placement. If you want them placed in a specific spot, the company will automatically do it after 72 hours if you haven't placed that person. Okay, so I really highly encourage you to place your people and teach your team members how to place them. At least guide them to the FAQ on the left bar on the bottom. If you go to FAQ, and it's number 5. I remember the first time I looked at the website, that's what I did. I went through the FAQ to learn how. There you go. Holding tank. So what happens is the moment they're signed up, they go into a holding tank. And then Chris, maybe you can guide them. Yes. So, or you could watch the video. I think it's important to leverage the tools that are available so that you can learn how to do it. It's super simple.
So the holding tank video here will explain to you all the details. But again, this is under your downline. Okay. Under your downline, what's going to happen is there's a section here that will show up, that will appear. The moment someone's ready to sign up, you'll see the list of people. Let's say you sponsor 2, 3, 4, 5 people. They will all be listed in that section over here. Right now, there is none because there's nobody in the system.
And it'll say holding tank. You'll see it.
Yes, it's exactly. And then from there, you will notice that underneath each of those green positions here, you'll have 2 gray. Well, obviously, if there's a position fill, there will be the name of that person. And on the right side, if it's empty, you'll have a gray circle. And when you click on the gray circle, you select from those 5 which one you want to be placed wherever. Personally, the rule of thumb, folks, if you don't know where to place people, you always place on the bottom left, bottom right, bottom left, bottom right. This is the placement that you do. Now, let's say you got lots of people on your left side. You may probably want to put them all on your right side. But again, remember, you need one on the left, one on the right, and they need to be active. So if you have one person on your left and 10 people on your right, and that one person on your left becomes inactive, you don't get paid. So I recommend that you have a couple backups on the smaller side, even though that's not the side we need to focus. But again, that's just strategy here. Okay. So that's the answer to that question about the placement.
Yeah, and Joe, the customers are not in the tree.
Yeah, they're not in a tree.
Mm-mm.
Okay. The customers are simply using the service. You're
Yeah.
getting the direct commission, the 25% from the customer, but they don't count into the genealogy. Okay. So from there back to this comp plan here, going on to the ranks here. So you're wondering, okay, well, how do I benefit from all of those bonuses? So if I go back here and I talk about this list of, let me just go back here. This list of bonuses here. You see customer acquisition bonus that happens to anybody who sponsors someone. The cycle bonus that occurs when you have 1% left, 1% on your right. The cycle match occurs when you are a sapphire. I've just explained that. The generation bonus occurs when you become a gold. And again, if you go back to the PDF over here, that's where this is located, right? So the gold will benefit from generation. The platinum will benefit also from generation. It doesn't change, but you're moving from tier 1 to tier 2. As a sapphire, now you're still in tier 2 and you're moving another generation. Instead of 3 generation, you're getting to 4 generation. What does that mean? What the company does, it looks for all the goals in your business. And it starts from you count as 1. And in fact, there is, but I don't know if this is going to complicate things, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. Let's just see. Okay, there's one.
Yeah, because everybody's at different levels of the compensation plan. So if it's overwhelming for you, you could always go back and look at the system and see how it works. And I recommend to get the PDF document and download it so that you can go through it and really have a clear understanding.
So the generation bonus here, it explains.
Mm-hmm.
What it says is you count as 1. All the people here, doesn't matter if you brought them in or not. You see the 4 reseller, that would be an example. That all of that will count. That's second level. 11 people here, all that will count. It could be 50, could be 100 people there. Okay. And then the third level, and it stops over here. You don't get fourth level. But when you become a platinum, now you're getting fourth level. So now you're getting 1, 2, 3, all these people. That's, by the way, left side and right side. Huh? Okay. So what's going on here is now it gets all the way up to here. And you'll notice that if I go back to, I think it's over here. Yeah. No, the one before. So if you go back over here, see, folks, how I'm analyzing this. So I'm trying to help you kind of identify the areas and where it's documented in the PDF. So you can see here as a sapphire, 4 level, 5 level. This is what this means. 6 level, 7 level, 8 level, 9 level. So what happens is as you go down in levels, folks, this becomes, it's like a Christmas tree. It grows and there's a lot more people as this keeps expanding. So you will notice that your bonus on the generation bonus is absolutely, could be monstrous on the positive sense of the word. So when you look at the compensation plan and you see here the generation bonus, that's 3 level. Dynamic compression bonus, it's exactly like number 4, but it goes deeper into the tree to level 5, level 6. That's what so 4 and 5 are really the same bonus, but number 5 is it expands based on your rank. Does that make sense here, folks? Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. So from there, as we keep moving over here, you will notice that the cycle match also increase in percentage. So when you become an emerald, it goes from 25 to 50%. So that's why you see a cap here of 2,000. You see a cap here of 5,000. Okay. And I think the reason why we went down to 65 is because a lot of folks went out and jumped into the Eric Worre leadership training. So at this point, we're pretty much finished here, folks. We're about 6 minutes left to the top of the hour. That's what we wanted to share with you here for you to understand what you need to focus on to start earning. And what we're telling you here is aim for gold. Once you are a gold, your business has the right foundation to move from gold to platinum if you continue. And the fact that if I go back to the, let me just remove that for a minute. If I go back to this genealogy over here, and I go back to where was I? What was I trying to do here? I was trying to go back down to oh yeah, the direct affiliate. So when we go click here to go back to where we, okay. So you can see here, I would really highly recommend, is it direct affiliate timing? It is, huh? Yeah.
Mhm.
So you can see here.
Yeah, get back to the people that you personally brought in and make sure that they're using the tool. And you can see right there.
That is your call to action here, folks. This is your homework. Log into your back office and see if the people you sponsored have a yes. If it's a no, I recommend you contact them. And if you need help, just get the help. I'm sure someone in your upline leadership will be happy to help you, because for them, if they see that you are engaged, it increases their paycheck as it will increase yours. Okay. So just go up the chain until you find someone willing to build a business with you, because not everybody's going to be have the same motivation to do this. But that is a really good place to start.
Yeah, and in that conversation, you could find out where they're at in wanting to build the business, and do they know where their links are? You got to build relationships with people and help them get to the next level of understanding for them. Okay.
I totally agree here. And folks, back to this here is after everything we talked about, that's what you need to study.
Mm-hmm.
One left, one right, repeat it again. So you have your two covered. You want to aim to have 25 people in your enrollment tree, and you want to aim to sponsor 10 people. This is your task for you to go and grow and create a career in creating an income with GotBackup. Okay. Is there anything else, Tammy, you want to add to this?
Yeah, you have one question at the end again. It's asking about the system. Can the system auto email if they need help to use GotBackup? What I recommend to do is create emails and have a system for it's
I
showing
do have a good answer for Gitano. So let me go back to the okay, let's see here. Remove, add. Okay. So if you go back here, and that's the answer to your question, the lead capture system, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do to create that email. And you go under follow-up. Okay. And from there, what you want to do is GotBackup reseller. These are people you have personally enrolled. Okay. And I would recommend for you to start creating some emails right here, just by add a follow-up, or if you have some already, click the plus to begin. If you look at this one, Tammy and I were doing some trainings on that in past trainings, which you can find on the lead capture marketing system. And what we did immediately is what they need to plug into. Okay. And then from there, I think the second one may have something too that we created here. I don't remember what's here. Okay. So again, that's an email which create. And then from there, you may want to see if you need any help. In fact, what I'm going to do, because this case, it doesn't expose anything. I'm going to log in as me in my account. And we'll finish on that note.
Yeah. So if you want an automated system for your members, your resellers, then you need to create it. And you can do this through ChatGPT. You can go back to some of the trainings that we've done in the lead capture system, and learn how to do this. Once the system is there, then it's automated. You don't have to think about it. Okay, it's automated.
So here's the thing, Tammy. To support your success, we've created a proven system designed to assist you every step of the way. Tammy and I developed. Okay, hold on. Okay, there we go. Feel free to reply to this email or book a call with me if you have any questions or need further information. We're here to assist you.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you click on that, it will basically create something like a Calendly link for them to book an appointment with me, and I will be in contact with them through a Zoom session. Okay. The other thing that's also really, really awesome that I really recommend for you to take advantage of, because that will answer most of your questions to prospect. If you click on, let's see here, on your tools, reseller tools, I really recommend that when you prospect with your guests or your prospects, use this one over here, because Joel created a really, really good system here that the moment that they enroll, they get complete information and emails and the story of GotBackup. It's all there. And it explains things very, very well for them to get a better understanding of what they have. And this is an awesome, awesome tool. This is a great funnel that's included for your $10 a month.
Yeah. And if you purchase the emails done for you, some people are purchasing, some are not. So they're creating their own emails. So if you don't want to purchase the emails that are available for people to have automation that you're signing up, then you're going to have to create your own emails. I know Chris and I do a little bit of both, and we've learned over time how to do this stuff, and that's why we're teaching it on Saturdays, so that you can benefit and learn how to do it yourself if you go back to the lead capture system trainings.
So what I'm pointing out to you right now is the 24/7 autopilot. And this is what Linwood Jones talked about here. That's You can see in his comment. This is it. I bought those 20 emails.
Yeah.
And all I did is I did not change the content. I simply added our picture over here, and we've done some trainings on that. You can go and check this out. And again, book the Zoom if they want more information, and our signature at the end. That's it. Every emails have that. The rest is exactly as Joel set it up, because Joel is a master in getting people to open emails and to convert. Okay. So I think, Tammy, we'll end on this note. So that is a summary of the compensation plan. We hope that was helpful. You can always come back to this training, folks, and feel free to post your comment for the next 24 hours. I'll check the messages there. And if I missed anything, and I'll make sure that we can respond to them. Okay. So have yourself a wonderful rest of your Saturday. On Wednesday, Tammy and I will be ready to present the opportunity, as we do every single week. Folks, if you show up alone, you will learn. But if you show up with your guests, you will learn while you earn, so you can be in a position to start presenting and helping you convert your business. Have yourself a great rest of your weekend, and bye for now.
Bye, guys. Have a great weekend.